Rage on that beat, going crazy. Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's much better, Mike. Hope you are all good. Welcome. Welcome one and all to Stadia Connect Eve. Ooh, a night of anticipation and excitement. Oh, as we put up our Stadia stockings, what wondrous gifts will Father Harrison and Mother Raymond bring us? Ho, ho, ho. Is that Stadia Claus? I can hear her coming. Yes. It's a Stadia Monday Night Chat with me, your host, Clive Illenden. Join me on a sleigh ride to Stadia Land on Stadia Connect Eve. I hope you are all well. So excited. Yes, I am excited. I am excited. But let's temper that excitement. You know, I'm just excited for presents, gifts, exciting news. That's all I'm excited about. Yeah, classic. Thank you, Jeff. Classic. Shouldn't be on mute now, but yes, classic. So many things to remember when you're going live. It's like, I need an octopus. Need to be an octopus. Anyway, thank you very much, chat, everybody. Antonio, Christopher, Radguy, Dazadini, Dave, Widnall, Jeff Gignac, welcome, welcome. I'll check out some of your content. I see you're making some content. That's really great. Welcome to the content creation family. Welcome one and all. As I say, thanks again for joining me on Monday Night Show. Yeah, I'm here, folks, every Monday night. Say hello in chat, of course. Pop in your Stadia-related questions. Avail yourself to the super chats. Go on, it'll be fun. Mingle, as they say, as once again I attempt to inform, educate, and entertain you on all things Stadia. And of course, yes, tonight is Stadia Connect prediction night, ladies and gentlemen. Hey XP, how you doing, my friend? Yes, it's Stadia Connect prediction night. But before the main feature, let's check the support feature, the news, the views, and the updates. Let's get to it. So, news, ladies and gentlemen, news. He says, so we've got confirmation of Celeste is coming. We knew this anyway because of the ESRB rating that was I pointed out last week. So we talked about this briefly last week. But now it's been officially given Stadia fronted logo on the front of the YouTube video here. So it's official and they announced it in their community blog. So this is coming. Exciting 16-bit style platformer, old school style. I've heard that it's actually really quite difficult. And it's all about the timing in this one. And you've got to get your timing and your jumps just right. So that means I'm going to be rubbish at this. I'm struggling with Monster Boy right now. So there you go. Along with this, of course, ladies and gentlemen, there was other announcements and a new title, brand new title that we weren't aware of, or certainly I wasn't aware of, and it is El Hijo, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, which is a Wild West title, it's described here. Brought to us by Handy Games, of course, who bought us, publisher who bought us Spitlings. So they seem to have a good eye out for the sort of good developers out there. The developer of this is Honig Studios. Honig. Konbanwa, konnichiwa. Hello, Yoshida. And this looks really nice, as I say. Again, beautiful styling to it. It's described, and it's interesting because I was looking at it's sort of a non-violent spaghetti western, which is a bit of a oxymoron. But anyway, I think they're inspired by the old spaghetti westerns of past. I was looking at the Steam entry for this, which has got a bit more information on it, and I'll share that with you now because it's quite interesting what they say about it. So if we have a look at the Steam entry here, El Hijo, a Wild West title again. So best indie at Gamescom, best indie game at Gamescom 2019. As I said before, Stadia seem to be taking a real Switch style approach here and picking up really, these award-winning indie games, and that gives it a lot of credibility to sort of gamers. Anyway, about the game, El Hijo is a Wild West tale. Exciting spaghetti western stealth game in which you guide a 6-year-old boy on his quest to find his mother. He must sneak past the dangers of the world, overcome challenges as he gains self-confidence, cunning, and with it more schemes to get past his foes on his journey. He'll find himself in remote monastery, a harsh and unforgiving stretch of desert, and a frontier town rife with crime and villainy. So, there we go. It looks a beautiful, beautiful looking game. Again, and I like the stealth aspect, the design look of it and everything. And as I say, winner of the best indie game at Gamescom Award in 2019. So that was another announcement officially coming to Stadia. Very excited about that. It does look really nice and beautiful. There's some really beautifully stylish games on Stadia now. These indie games are great, and AAA games are coming. They're already there anyway. We just seem to forget about the AAA games. They're on there already, but we know we've got more coming. But more on that later. So the other thing is also I mentioned. Did I mention last week? I think I did mention W2K WE2K Battlegrounds. So I think we saw a registration for this as well, an ESRB registration or a PEGI registration for this. But more excitingly, just take that out there we go. So this is a sort of a bash 'em up brawl game with bringing all your old WWE characters. I spotted Stone Cold in there. There he is. I spotted The Rock, not Rock, The Rock. I spotted The Rock in there. The Undertaker. So if you're into WWE and you've been for a while, there's Stone Cold there. You're gonna see all the characters from the past and the kind of the present, and it's a kind of real cartoony kind of bash 'em up, as I said. The interesting about this is, as I say, there's no official announcement on this yet. So I don't think Stadia have officially announced it. But the key thing about here is the Stadia logo does appear on the end of this trailer, as you'll see anymore. See if I can catch it. I mean, it looks wild and crazy. I didn't think I'd like Power Rangers, but I did. So maybe I'll quite like this. Here we go. Let's freeze frame it. Freeze frame. There we go. Switch, Xbox One, PS4, Stadia. There's a Stadia logo. So I think, whilst not officially announced by Stadia yet, I think it's safe to say it's coming to Stadia. And I know I hate to sort of harp on about it, but I'm going to anyway. Just another example, ladies and gentlemen, of 2K games supporting Stadia as a cloud platform. I know. Don't go there, Clive. You're always going on it. No one likes a gloater. Well, I'm going to gloat again. I was right. As I said, this is why you always need to check with me and my podcast, because I bring you the truths. I bring you the facts, ladies and gentlemen. I told you 2K supported Stadia. Further evidence that this is the case. But there we go. Yeah, Christopher says, yeah, logo on the game trailers. Yeah, I think we'll see it more and more. I just think at the moment, Stadia are holding it back on purpose, partly to do with what's coming up with tomorrow, etc. In my opinion. So there we go. So meanwhile, on the, so that is not official, but it's pretty certain. But on the more rumor and speculation front, could Lara Croft be coming to Stadia again? So Lara Croft in her previous guises, as it were. So this is a rumor that I originally saw a tweet. I forget, by a Spanish Stadia fan, could have been a French Stadia fan, I'm not sure. A previous tweet, and they tweeted out this promo for, here it is, and this has been picked up by Games Rant, and I know Stadia Source have picked it up as well, but they're sprinkling some salt on it. Just, take it with a pinch of salt. It could be a mock-up. I'm not sure. But according to this PR mock-up here, you will see Tomb Raider: The Ultimate Experience, relive Lara's greatest adventures in one ultimate package, coming August the 27th. Xbox One, PS4, Switch, Steam, Stadia. Now, this is not official, but it looks pretty legit, but we can't be sure. If it does come, I for one, am particularly looking forward to the earlier Lara Croft. I love Lara Croft, not literally, the game, Tomb Raider. Let's just rephrase that. Rewind. I love Tomb Raider. I love Tomb Raider, the game. And I liked, I remember fondly the game, Tomb Raider, on the PlayStation 1. And if you look at this first one, this is a really kind of, I don't know, sort of PlayStation, maybe PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era. Not quite sure there. But I definitely, if this comes to Stadia, we'll be playing this on the Generation X Retro Gaming Club. I'll be streaming the old school Lara Croft if this comes. Again, it's not official. There's no word from Square Enix on this. No word from Stadia. But it seems strange that somebody's mocked this up. I don't know. But anyway, could we see Lara Croft coming back in more guises to Stadia? I think a collection would be great, for new fans and old fans, as it were, of the older stuff. I think that's pretty cool. Let me know what you think, whether we think that's true or not. Right. So the other one as well is Super Hot. So there is, again, this is not confirmed, but coming to Stadia, but we think it probably will. Super Hot Mind Control Delete. There was a reveal trailer for this saying it's out on July the 16th on PC, Mac, or Linux for free. Yeah. So this is like a, I don't know, is it like a new game or just an updated DLC to Super Hot, which is one of my favorite games on Stadia, to be honest. I loved it, albeit very short. I didn't like the fact it's quite short, but I just love the concept and the style of it. But yeah, Super Hot. Why do I not have a little picture of it? Anyway, Super Hot Mind Control Delete is going to be released for free for those who already purchased Super Hot previously on PC and Mac. And I see why no reason why this wouldn't come to Stadia. But what if you had a Stadia Pro? Because it was Super Hot was made available to Stadia Pro members, so you didn't actually purchase it. So there is a form that you can fill out for the developer. Here we go, for Super Hot Mind Control Delete. And it says, in particular, this is so you can see if you're eligible for a free copy of Mind Control Delete. But if it's not coming to your platform of choice yet, if everything checks out, we'll get you a special DRM-free version for PC, Macs, and Linux when Mind Control Delete launches on July the 16th, which is Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. In particular, this form is for you if you purchased Super Hot on one of the following platforms. So this form, which you can fill out and send to them, is for if you've bought it, and this is the key thing, bought it for Switch, Windows Store, itch.io, Google Stadia, or Origin. This form is not for you if you received Super Hot for free on Xbox Games Pass. It was on Xbox Games Pass. Epic Games Store, Twitch Prime, or generally any other platform, or you played Super Hot on a free subscription service like Stadia, or Games Pass like Xbox and Stadia, or you don't own Super Hot. I don't own Super Hot, I just have it as a pro version. So it'll be interesting to see whether you actually had to have bought Super Hot or whether we'll get it as part of Pro. I'm curious about that. But anyway, could be coming again, rumor and speculation. Super Hot Mind Control Delete coming to Stadia. So there we go, folks. What do you think of that? Not bad, Clive, not bad. Other news of interest. I'm not going to do that because what's the time? We've got time. Yeah. Okay, we're now going to go to Ubisoft Forward. Who watched Ubisoft Forward? Let me know. Put it in the chat. Did anyone watch Ubisoft Forward? Were you impressed with it? Were you disappointed? Did it meet expectations? Did it exceed expectations? All of that. But let me know. So it's official, ladies and gentlemen. It's official. Far Cry 6. Look at that. Stadia. The big Stadia logo there. This is absolutely, I think, a real epic sort of cut sequence here for Far Cry 6. But anyway, it's been officially announced. This is the official Stadia announced trailer as well. This is not someone else's trailer. This is the Stadia trailer. And I'm just checking my notes here. It is coming February the 18th, 2021. Yes. All right, Jerome, how you doing? Jeff, yep. February the 18th, 2021. Day and date. I'm going to stop saying that, and I'll tell you why later. Day and date. But anyway, this does look epic. I'm not going to play the whole video here, but definitely check out the Ubisoft Forward, or just check out this this Stadia official trailer of it. I mean, it looks amazing. Of course, it's got the main guy, one of the main guys from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, of course. It also, I saw another picture I think it also features the other guy from Better Call Saul. The one that wants to give up a life of crime to save his father. If you watch Better Call Saul, you know who I mean. I think he's in it as well, which would be absolutely awesome. I'm sure I saw a picture of him as well, not just the chicken guy, which is this main guy here, who's absolutely brilliant as an actor, but the other guy, who I can't remember his name. But this looks absolutely epic. So looking forward to this. And as I say, coming to Stadia, great news. A big title. You know, I've said all along, big titles are coming, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we know about Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Again, there was some gameplay at the Ubisoft Forward session. We know it's coming to Stadia anyway, and we now have an official release date, which is November the 17th. It's coming November the 17th, 2020, on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia. And again, as a fan of Assassin's Creed recently, a new convert to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, although it's got very similar gameplay, I'm sure they've just, you know, why not? If it works, it works, you know. And it looks really great. And again, a big title. Thank you, Ubisoft. Just releasing on all the platforms as normal. I'm not going to say day and date, because that's becoming redundant. And as time goes by, that idea of is it day and date will become more and more redundant, because it will just be coming to PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Stadia. And that's it. That will be the norm. I've always said this will be the case. We're just too early in Stadia's life and too late in the development cycle for games that were delivering earlier in the year. But games that are delivering sort of from now onwards, we're late enough in the development cycle for them to be developed in parallel at the same time for all the consoles. And by that, I also mean Stadia, which I always view as a virtual console, of course. The other thing, of course, just check this, that was that. Watchdog, again. Ubisoft mentioned Watchdog coming here. And again, I'm not going to play the video here. I mean, it does look absolutely awesome. You can play, you know, you recruit. I love the idea of recruiting different characters. I love the idea that it's set in London, of course. Shout out to London. Used to be my hometown. Not anymore. But obviously I work there. Although not anymore because I work from home. Who remembers that? Was it the Getaway PlayStation game? There's a PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 game. No, I think it was a PlayStation 2 game. And again, that was modeled on London. It was sort of a Grand Theft Auto kind of wannabe, but set in London. And they kind of spent a long time mapping all the streets of London. Anyway, so that'll be interesting. Again, this is coming. Check my notes here. Yep. So we've always known about Watchdog Legions because this was one of the first games mentioned as coming way back before Stadia was released. It was on that list of, you know, games that would be featuring on Stadia. So we've known this for quite a while, but it's coming on the 29th of October. It's going to be a busy time, isn't it? Between sort of September, October, November, and the big titles coming. You've got the Assassin's Creed, you've got this, you're going to have Cyberpunk, hopefully, you know, hopefully around that time as well. So anyway, very, very exciting. Exciting times. And as I say, let's forget day and date because, as I say, the coming on the 29th of October 2020 on all platforms. So we don't have to be saying, is it day and date? No, it doesn't matter because it is coming at the same time. That's why it doesn't matter. And there's somebody, I saw somebody in, I think Tesorius on Twitter saying, doesn't it feel good when you know it's coming at the same time on all the platforms, i.e. including Stadia? Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it feels good about that. But we have to accept that titles that were meant to, I don't want to go on about Cyberpunk, but it was meant to deliver in March. So it was never going to deliver at the same time to Stadia. Now, it still could. Now things have moved on, but anyway, we're not here to discuss that. So that's Ubisoft and Watchdog Legions. Other things in the news. Tom Clancy's Breakpoint introducing AI. Let me know who plays Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They're bringing AI characters in here as well, which I think is a really cool feature. If anybody's watched the Generation X Retro Games Club, I talked about a title as one of my old titles. We have a section in it in which Rock and I sort of compete with each other and sort of bring in an old game from our past and sort of saying and get chat to vote on it. And I brought an old game called Freedom Fighters, and in that you you recruited people and then you got them to, and they each had, again, they were AI characters, limited because it was back in the day, like 2003 or something, and you instructed them to do things. So you had an explosive specialist and stuff like that. Very similar to this idea. I don't know if anybody remembers, anybody's old enough to remember Freedom Fighters. I'll show you a picture of it. But there, the idea of being able to sort of to your AI mates, I think is, yeah, and it's the same sort of regroup technique. This is exactly the technique, but brought up to date big time, as was in Freedom Fighters way back in the day. Let's have a quick look. If anybody remembers Freedom Fighters, this was the game, just for reference. I can't zoom in on there, but this was a game. I love this game, Freedom Fighters. I think it was from 2003, something like that, around about that time. And again, you controlled the AI characters in that in a very similar way. Just a little anecdotal. Hit my desktop there. Just a little bit of anecdotal reference there. Yeah, Silly Celios used to play it. Yeah, I love that game. Anyway, so I'm interested to see what that would look like in 2020. I love the idea of, I mean, you think in Apex Legends, you sort of, why you're not controlling AI, you're controlling real people, but the ability to communicate with real people, it's probably on a radial on the same basis that you just, go over there, explosive guy, go over there, hacker person, and sort that out. So, very cool. Looking forward to that. The other news, of course, and I'll come to this a bit more, is Hyperscape. So this is news from Ubisoft forward, is Hyperscape, and as yet, no mention of Stadia. What do we think? Do I expect it to release on Stadia? Chat, what do you think? Do you expect to see Hyperscape release on Stadia? Yes, I do. With the other consoles in time. That's what I think personally. Currently, it is in beta format and releasing officially on PC first. I have tried it, not that successfully, and I might have another go at it. So it means that they're effectively, it's a beta trial for PC initially, get it out there, get it to streamers and stuff because of the Twitch integration. And it's the easiest way to do it. They're probably polishing off and finalizing the console versions, i.e. finishing off the port, as it were, to Xbox and PlayStation 4. I mean, not a direct port, they sort of develop in parallel, but they probably just take a little bit longer to get the polish for the console versions, and then they've got to be, the logistics have got to be done on them, and they've got to be checked and verified and all this kind of stuff. It takes a little bit longer on the consoles sometimes, so if they want to get the beta out, they're only going to put a PC beta out, so that's why it's only on PC at the moment. So once it's ready for the consoles, I expect, in my opinion, the Stadia version will also be finished, and it will come to consoles, including Stadia, at the same time. Oh, but Clive, I've seen it's on GeForce Now, and you can play it on the Shadow PC. Oh. Okay, breathe. Okay, I just want to get semantically pedantic with you now. It's not on GeForce Now, yeah? GeForce Now is not, strictly speaking, a game service, yeah? GeForce Now is a virtual gaming PC. This is a beta PC, a PC beta game. So, of course, it can play on a virtual PC. Shadow PC is literally a virtual PC. That's all it is. So, of course, you can play a PC game on it. And Ubisoft want to get it out there. So they're going to, it's a free to play game. So, of course, they're not going to have any issue with it being on GeForce Now. And nobody seems to have any issue with games being on Shadow PC anyway, because Shadow PC sells themselves not as a game service, but as a virtual PC service. So I think that and they're quite small, so I don't think publishers have a big issue with them. Anyway, that's the news, the views. I've done it in half an hour. Phew. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Are we ready for prediction time? Were you excited about those Ubisoft games? Are you excited? Do you expect to see Hyperscape coming to Stadia? Are you disappointed it's not been mentioned yet? Or are you cool with it because you think it's going to be mentioned maybe tomorrow? Tomorrow's got a lot riding on it, if we think about Stadia Connect, in terms of there's a lot of things we've said, oh, it'll be all right. They'll mention it at Stadia Connect. Oh, it'll be all right. They'll mention it at Stadia Connect. What if they don't mention all these things that we've sort of given Google Stadia a pass on because we think they're going to be announced at Stadia Connect? I think there's still time for things to be announced down the road. It's not all about tomorrow, but, just they'll continue. They've announced loads of things this week, and it's not even Stadia Connect. So we know that Stadia Connect, they've mentioned, and I've said before that I always thought this Stadia Connect would all be about games. I think it will, but I did retweet the tweet from Stadia saying games, and other news and a few surprises, and that got me really excited. The other news and more surprises. So it's not going to be all about the games. There'll be lots of games. We'll see. Anyway, so without further ado, let's do this, shall we? It's prediction time, ladies and gentlemen. Prediction time. Boom! I've worked hard for you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this works well. I hope everything functions as I'd like. Right. Okay, my top 10 Stadia predictions. They're in a sort of order. I'll be honest with you. And then the order is in my sort of my dead certs, really, and then slightly doubtful or speculative towards the end. So naturally, my first prediction: Orcs Must Die. This is a no-brainer. I think everybody knows. I think this is out of the bag. I think everybody knows this is coming. I think everybody knows this is going to, pull out the old projector. Exactly. It's a deck, man. That's what they call it in the office, a deck. Orcs Must Die 3 will drop as a Stadia Pro title at the Stadia Connect. I don't think this is a big surprise. It's not a big revelation. The reason is, and this was thanks again to Stadia Source. Let me just find here. Look, they found this. And I'm just going to jump back to the news section here. So they found this listing. This is actually on the Stadia store, sort of hidden away. It's not for public viewing, but it's actually on the Stadia store. Again, thanks to Stadia Source for digging this thing out. My hair, it fell out dealing with idiots like you, Mac. That's what happened. So it was mentioned on, so it's actually on the Stadia listing store. So it's obviously ready to go. It's a private listing. They haven't sort of revealed it yet. So it's obviously ready to roll. They've got it all set up, ready to roll. And here we go. Look, release date, 14th of July. Ooh, when's that? Yeah. When is that? Tomorrow at the Stadia Connect, mate. That's where it is. Plus, there was a video on here that doesn't play anymore. I think it's this. It doesn't play. It's listed as private. So you can't play it. But I think some people did get a glance on it, and it said Stadia Pro at the end of the video. So that's the main thing. I think it's pretty certain. Yeah. It's no great shakes that this is actually coming to going to be a pro game and everything. And yeah, so is that a great prediction? Not really, Clive. But anyway, has that spoilt it a bit for us? I don't know. Apex Legends. Yeah. I think Apex Legends is coming. I don't think it's coming tomorrow. I think the announcement will be made. I don't think it will be until the autumn and fall, and I'll tell you why. At EA's Play event back in June, they said they confirmed cross-play would be coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox and PC, and the newly arriving Switch version. So there's a Switch version, and it will be arriving in the autumn alongside the Switch version. So I think crossplay will arrive on the Switch version and the Stadia version in autumn. I think that's when we'll see it. I don't think there's a lot of point, personally, in releasing it on Stadia without crossplay at this stage. I think the best thing is I'd rather wait for it to. I'd love to have it straight away, but I'd rather wait for it to have crossplay on it or with it. And if that means wait until autumn, then I'm cool with that. What do you think? Would you rather play Apex? If you're a fan of Apex, would you rather it drop and you can only play Stadia people on it? Or would you rather wait and be able to do cross-play? Anyway, I think this is, as I say, this is in line with EA Studios' strategy about making games available on all platforms, making cross-play a thing, and it's a free-to-play game, so I think it'll be available for Stadia Pro members, as I say. And remember, Phil Harrison did say at the last Stadia Connect they'd be announcing at least 2 more EA games at the next Connect, and this is the next Connect. In fact, I'll show you. Bear with me. Here. Desktop. Go, Phil. Right, this is Phil. Hopefully you can hear him.
Happy to announce that we are bringing 5 games from Electronic Arts to Stadia as part of our partnership. It all starts with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order coming this fall.
So he mentioned there about, the titles coming, and 2 more titles coming in the next Connect. But I think he's had more news about EA titles generally. So I think there may be more than 2, or there may be some more EA news generally that might be coming. That's just my view. The reason I think that is because when they announced the last Connect, they were probably still in conversation about what games they could actually deliver or actually announce, and they're still sort of firming up other titles. So I could imagine, we know EA have a cross-platform strategy now. We know that, confirmed by the head of EA Studios, Lara Croft, if I seem to remember rightly. We know that they're all keen on cross-play as well. They just want to get their games out for people to play, to make money. That's what they do. So I think it's pretty, on that basis, that's why I'm pretty confident that Apex Legends is definitely coming. And I think we're going to see more EA games generally. It could be a halfway house on Apex Legends, to be honest, where it might be, you could have a situation where it releases the Stadia early, say, so, drops tomorrow. I don't think so, but drops tomorrow, and you can cross-play with PC, but not console at this stage. Or you can cross-play, like PUBG, you can cross-play with console, but not PC. That could be a halfway house, but personally, I think it will come in the autumn when cross-play is fully enabled on it. Streaming to YouTube, yes, please. So they said more games and other news and exciting information. And we know this is coming. We know this is coming anyway. We know Twitch is sort of, they haven't taken the lead, Clive. They've taken the lead with the hyperscape. Not really. They haven't got this kind of technology. They have looked at how they can really integrate Hyperscape and Twitch and utilize that, but they're already integrating things. They do Twitch drops, watch a stream, and then you get some sort of special Twitch Doom Eternal cosmetics. Used to do that with Sea of Thieves on Mixer and stuff, or on Twitch. If you watched a certain amount of time, then they would drop cosmetics for you that you could then use in the game. What we're talking with YouTube integration is much deeper than that, and the potential is much greater. And that's, I think, we're definitely going to see that. And I know Jem did his little scurrying and digging away at some of the Stadia code, and he's found more information. If you check out Jem Stadia, his YouTube site. I haven't watched his video because I don't want too many spoilers, but he's done a little sort of behind the scenes investigation in the code, a deep dive into the code behind Stadia, and found lots more clues about streaming to YouTube. This is one of the big things I really look forward to. The ability to stream in real high quality streams, I think, is really exciting. What I'd be interesting about is how they deliver that in terms of what other stuff you can do. Obviously, I use OBS, so I can have overlays and little chat alerts and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that will function, what other functionalities in there. And in Jem's video, he did find some stuff about some choices and showing another screen and showing the chat. So it looks like they're looking to integrate it with different levels. So anybody who's sort of streamed direct from Xbox with the baked-in Mixer app, there was some functionality in that, and you could include a camera. If you plugged it into your Xbox, you'd include a camera in that. So there may be some similar integration with YouTube, that if you're playing on your PC and you plug in a camera, you could maybe take your camera feed. I don't know. They might roll it out in stages. That's the Google way, not to necessarily deliver it as a complete working package, but as a sort of, at first you can do this, but you have to use OBS, and then you put in a browser link or something, or which takes the feed directly from your sort of Stadia server, so you're still getting high quality, but you're not using your CPU. That's the real thing I'm kind of excited about, and the opportunity to be able to open up streaming to everybody, I think is really really exciting personally. And I think there's a good chance, these top sort of 4 or 5, I think there are a good chance of these things happening. Family sharing, yes please. A lot of people have been clamoring for this. I don't think it's not a difficult thing to program or functionality for Stadia to include in terms of programming it or setting it up. They already do family share on their Google accounts that you have, on my Google account, the families, my family all got family share on it. But there may be an issue with how they negotiate the deals with the publishers. And that may need be the thing that's ironing out. The tech is all there, it's ready to go. Again, we've seen clues of this in the code behind the scenes, as it were. We'll draw back the curtain. Jem has drawn back the curtain. Other people on the Reddit have drawn back the curtain, revealed that there's code there for this. So family sharing, I think, is very good. Thank you, Antonio. Yeah, to be honest though, Antonio, Rock, I think these are pretty safe bets. I'm not doing anything crazy here. These top 5, I think, are pretty safe bets. I'll come to the bingo card, Antonio, which I think was awesome, later. More EA titles. Okay, as I said, so at the last Stadia Connect, they announced Jedi Fallen Order, FIFA, and Madden, and 2 other titles to be announced. Now, although Apex Legend is an EA title, I'm not sure. I think Apex Legends will be announced as one of the titles. I don't think it will be included. I don't think it will be included in those other two titles because it's a free to play game. So effectively, it'll be available to pro members. I think Apex Legends. I think there are other games. Plus, as I said, in terms of negotiation, they're probably a bit further down the line. So they're probably in a position to firm up and confirm some more games. We know EA are working with Stadia, and it's not just, oh, here's 3 games, now go away and flip up. You know, as I said before, Laura Meal, EA CEO, head of studios, has said they want a multi-platform approach. So we're going to see, as time goes by, we're going to see more and more games from EA just drop on Stadia at the same time as we see them drop on other platforms. Maybe not immediately this year. We'll see. We're still playing catch up with Jedi Fallen. FIFA's probably a little bit behind the curve. Madden's probably a bit behind the curve. But certainly next year, we'll start seeing that pattern. As I said before, there won't be this conversation of day and date rubbish. It'll just be, it's coming to all the consoles. It's coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Stadia. That's it. So I expect we could see some more EA games, and I think it's not going to be limited to just the 2 EA games. So that's my prediction. More EA games. Rollouts to more countries. Ray tracing. Not convinced about that yet. I don't think this is the place for ray tracing. In terms of announcements, and I'll come to that, Dave Handley. Good point. The whole Gen 2 kind of stuff. A lot of people focus on that. I don't think this Stadia Connect is the place for those sort of announcements, and I'll come to where I think you do make those announcements and where historically they have made those announcements before. But roll out to more countries. Stadia, let us not forget, Stadia is only in 14 countries at the moment. Yeah, Belgium, Finland, Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Spain, Sweden, United Kingdom, and US of A. 14 countries. That's minuscule. I mean, they're big markets, granted, but it's minuscule. And there's a reason for this, I believe. Stadia Google want to make sure that Stadia works. Does it work? Oh yeah. They want to roll it out into countries that have a decent infrastructure, where they know there are lots of gamers and it will get the pickup. But what about South America? What about Japan, Korea? What about India? Massive market. I mean, the mobile gaming market, PUBG, I've said before, if you do your research, PUBG on mobile is redonkulous in India in terms of its popularity. I mean, they have tournaments and everything, the works. So, places like that are untapped markets. And I did, again, because I like to do my research for you, ladies and gentlemen. I like to do my research. I did some research on this. Of course you did, Clive, because you're a nerd. Where is my research? Right, here's my research. So, this is why I think, this interesting little stat here. For nerds everywhere, Singapore, yeah. Here we are. Global speeds, yeah. Global speeds 2020. So this is the broadband global speed. Okay, bang at the top. Average. These are averages. Can you believe this? Average. Good point. Licensing is always an issue as well. Yeah, some games. Oh, well, I'm live. It's too late, Rock. I could edit that out. Anyway, but here we are. Average broadband speed by country. South Korea, 110. Average. But look, all these countries here. Look, before you even get, I have to look. France, Sweden, look. Show all. UK, the UK is not even on here. Embarrassing. We're way down. Where are we? United States, average 44. So there are plenty of countries with the broadband speed and capability that are not even on the list. So that's one thing. Okay. The other thing here is, let's have a look at the Google's infrastructure. Why not, Clive? Okay. So this is Google's cloud. I just did a little thing on where all the nodes are, the edge nodes. So here are the main data centers. These are the main Google data centers that basically control, they're the mother load. This is the mother load dotted around Europe. There's only 4 in Europe. And then in Asia Pacific, you've got the 2. You've got a big one in South America. So Brazil and all of that. Thank you, Johnny Barnett. Of course, hit the likes button, everybody. Much appreciated. Also, if you're new here, please hit subscribe. It's really, really appreciated. Plus, we should get an alert, and it's always very amusing when that happens. Look at all the servers in the data centers in North America as well. So they're the data centers. They're the main data centers. Then you've got edge pops, okay, where Google starts connecting the network to the rest of the internet. So here they're communicating among themselves. This is all Google's own infrastructure talking to each other. They don't use, the common internet here. This is their own connections between here. And then, as I understand it, this is now goes out to all the various internet exchanges. So this is how they then have another layer of internet peering, they call it, of their Google internet exchanges, which then communicates with all the IP around the world. But you see, look, loads in Europe here, loads in Asia down here, and in Southeast Asia as well, even Australia. Yeah, Layman Gaming. Yeah, Layman Gaming boys. Eventually you can get it. Yeah, get Stadia, and then you don't have to moan about it. And then the edge nodes here. Look at all these edge nodes, which is basically, and this is interesting, not many people know this, Netflix do this, where they can actually install like the cached information. So basically Netflix have got deals with all the major internet sort of ISP network operators, where they say, will you install this special box? And on this box, it's got all the Netflix content, so that there's no lag between you and your nearest sort of ISP server supplier and you for your network, your Netflix content. So you're not having to go to some server all the way in the US or all the way in Europe to get your Netflix content. You're just going to your local ISP server effectively, which has a Netflix box in it. So this is a bit like this, where they supply cached data already up front. I don't know what I'm talking about really, obviously, but the point is Google have the potential to roll this out on a larger scale. So I expect to see more countries being rolled out, or at least an announcement at, hey, we're coming to more countries. And I think that's great for Stadia. It's great for us Stadia fans, people who play on Stadia. It's good for Stadia. The publishers will get more excited because it gives them a greater marketplace. Stadia players, we're going to be good because it means we'll have more Stadia players to play with. Nobody on Destiny. Destiny's getting crossplay next year, but if you're impatient, hopefully, and a few more countries getting it would mean that eventually those waiting rooms and lobbies will be more populated. So that's not a bad thing, is it, ladies and gentlemen? That's not a bad thing. Can't complain about that. Presentation time. So that was number 7. 8. Activision Blizzard. Bit quiet. It's a bit quiet on the old Activision Blizzard front. We've seen, we've got EA, we've got Ubisoft, we've got Take-Two Games, Square Enix. Are you really telling me that Activision Blizzard are happy being out of the party? The party is becoming a bit cool, yeah? The Stadia party is beginning to swing, yeah? Woo! It's beginning to swing with all the the cool publishers now. Yeah. And you think Activision Blizzard, they're on the outside of the party wanting their invite. So where are they? Could we see some announcements about Activision Blizzard? Blizzard. What did I write in my notes here? Yeah, what about Activision Blizzard, I put. What's the status there? Could we see an announcement on how that partnership is developing? They must be in talks with them. I cannot believe that Phil Harrison is not in talks with Activision Blizzard. So could we see Call of Duty Warzone? Could we see Overwatch 2 when that's coming? Or some announcement that they're working with Activision Blizzard? It seems like, why would Activision Blizzard not want to be part of this party? Doesn't make any sense. So, and it wouldn't make any sense that Google are not actively talking to them. Now, they may not be at the stage, or they may not have been at the stage before to make official announcements or have anything concrete to announce, but maybe now is the time. Maybe now is the time to say, we've got some news. We're going to be working with Activision Blizzard, and we hope to have more news or announce some titles coming soon. But hopefully they do that before Overwatch 2 is released, because that would be a great title to have on. And of course, Call of Duty Warzone. Who wouldn't want to play Call of Duty Warzone with no cheaters, yeah? That was one of Stadia's selling points. And it's a real bugbear to Activision, Call of Duty and the cheaters and the hackers. And yet, if you go back to the original Stadia Connects and the Stadia announcements, one of the biggest selling points that they went on about, no cheating, no hacking. So it'd be made in, a perfect match made in heaven. Call of Duty, no hackers on Stadia. PUBG is great because you're not getting hacked. The only drawback with that is I can't blame hacking or cheating for my crap ability on PUBG. Oh man, he must have been wall hacking. He shot me through the wall. No, he didn't, because they're playing on console. I'm playing on Stadia. It ain't happening. Cheating on console is pretty difficult. Anyway, so yeah, Activision Blizzard. Where are they, man? Where are they? Uplay Plus. Come on. We know Uplay Plus is coming. So this is not a surprise that but what would be a surprise is, are they ready to announce it? Uplay Plus. When will they announce it? Are they waiting to get as many of the games? Because it's no good announcing it if you've hardly got any games. So, and they might have got now, we know Ubisoft are delivering all the current games for Stadia, but that means they might have a system in place in which they've kind of really got the conversion, the porting to Stadia down to a sort of a fine art, and they've got a project group just going through all these games. And maybe not all the Uplay Plus games will be available at first, but they need to have a decent handful, a decent choice of games to make you want to go, yeah, I'll have my Stadia. And well, the beauty is you could, when Uplay comes, of course, you could decide to say, I'll have Stadia free and not pay my Stadia Pro. Why would you do that? But you could, but I'll have my Uplay Plus. So you could just play one subscription. That could be a scenario. Or they could give you Stadia Pro a discount, or a sort of a bundled offer with Uplay Plus if you're a Stadia Pro. But the value of this, imagine the fact that Stadia is free, don't forget that. Stadia is free, and then subscribe to Uplay Plus, or if you already subscribe to Uplay Plus, might make you want to go, oh, I'll give Stadia a go. But I'm not subscribing to Stadia, but I'm going to stick my Uplay Plus. Knock yourself out. Enjoy. Yeah, exactly. For God's sake, Dave Handley says, just bloody announce it, will you? For goodness sake, get on with it. What's next? Clive, what's next? Hyperscape. Well, I think I've done that. Do you like what I've done there? Oh no, I haven't done it on this one. On the other ones I put little Stadia logo in the corner. I didn't do it on this one. Faked it. So I talked about this earlier. I won't go on about it. Again, it's at the sort of the upper end of my predictions. So these have sort of I have less faith in some of these being announced. But I'm still confident that Hyperscape is coming. It will get launched with the other consoles. I'm confident about that. Whether it will be announced tomorrow, less confident. But I'm fairly confident it's coming. I'm less confident it'll be announced yesterday. Given the proximity to Ubisoft Forward's thing yesterday, it'd be perfectly cool if they announced it was coming tomorrow. And again, if half of these announcements, I mean, bear in mind that Ubisoft Forward announced about 3 games and everyone was super excited. 3 games and some enhancements, something like that, maybe 4 games, I can't remember. And everybody was on Twitter was like, "Oh my God, that was an amazing presentation. That was brilliant." Oh. I thought, well, there weren't that many games, and yet everybody got excited. It's the quality of the games, granted. So if we get just some quality announcements, we don't need a whole list of stuff. Some quality announcements. I'd be happy with quality over quantity personally. In the Stadia Connect tomorrow. Yeah, if we get big quality announcements and there's 4 or 5 of them, I'm fine with that. I don't need 10 big things, okay? Or just 10 random things. Okay, teasers. A lot of people are saying, they've got to show a first party title, or that's it. No, they don't. No, they don't. These things are still in development. At most, I think you might see a teaser, like a real teaser. Remember at the end of the last Connect. Excuse me. Whoo! At the end of the last Connect, they had the little Orcs Must Die characters just pop up and sort of wander around as a sort of teaser. I think that's what we might see, a very short snippet. This, of course, is a picture from the Player Vista offices. The new studios being headed up by a Stadia studio, in-house studio being headed up by Shannon Studstill. Of course, no one's there now at the moment, I imagine, because COVID, they're all working from home. Doesn't stop them from developing, because, of course, they can develop in the cloud, because it's Stadia. Magic. It's almost if Google knew. Conspiracy theory. But what about Typhoon Studios? What about the game that they're working on? They, finished Journey to Savage Planet a while ago now. Obviously, they've been working on stuff for Stadia for a while, few months, and we do see trailers or teasers put out way, way, way before, like sometimes 2 years. Who remembers, talking of Ubisoft, who remembers Skull and Crossbones? Or even Beyond Good and Evil 2 teaser trailer. They were from like 2018. And we've not heard anything about those games since. It was over 2 years ago. So trailers are put out pretty early. So I think if we're going to, I'm not confident we'll see any announcement on this yet. But if we do, I think it'll be a tiny, tiny little teaser, and then they'll make more announcements of it later in the year. They don't have to do everything in this Stadia Connect, yeah? They could have another Stadia. The last Stadia Connect was what, April or May? I've lost track now. So we could have another one in October, quite easily. So, they'll be saving up and making sure, crossing those T's, dotting those I's, making sure everything's concrete before making more announcements. It's ongoing, developing. I mean, imagine. Have I got anything else on here? Yes, other stuff. So somebody, I noticed Capcom there, Zero Games for Me. You mentioned Capcom, didn't you? We know Capcom are developing games for Stadia because they specifically requested, they released that job advert for somebody with Stadia experience or Vulkan experience to program for Stadia and stuff. So we know Capcom games are definitely, or Capcom as a publisher, definitely have Stadia in mind. And we know that many other publishers have still to announce games for Stadia. So let's not forget those. So it's not all about EA. It's not all about Ubisoft. It's not even all about Activision and Blizzard. There are other publishers out there. And just as I said about Activision and Blizzard, waiting on the edge, wanting to be part of the party, as Stadia grows and grows in momentum, we're going to see other publishers jump on board. As I say, we know Capcom will be jumping on board because they've advertised a job for it specifically. So I think there are going to be other games from other publishers, probably some more indie games mixed in there. Don't be disappointed. We all love an indie game. But there will be some big hitters. They will be big hitters. Again, this is going to be a recap about what Stadia is, what it offers, what it already has, and some big sort of credibility making announcements. So not techie announcements, none of that. It's going to be some games, and then the tech announcements will be ones that are actual of benefit to the casual gamer. The casual gamer is not that bothered about, can I play it in 8K, 4K, 60 frames per second, when most gamers don't even have the facilities to do that anyway. They don't have a 4K screen. But the ability to stream, yeah, that's exciting, because we know there are gazillion streamers in the world. Given the amount of people who watch YouTube, amount of people who watch Twitch, it's massive. So that is sort of a tech enhancement, which is of interest to mainstream gamers and casual gamers alike. Family sharing. We know that Stadia is pitching itself very much as a family gaming service. They're taking a very Switch-like approach. Lots of great indie games, lots of family-friendly games, some big tentpole titles of AAA games. Family sharing is really important to that. So again, that's a tech enhancement, which I think is relevant to this Stadia Connect. Warner Brothers Games, depending who buys that, of course, Rashad. But yeah, while they're still around, depending, if Xbox buys them, maybe not. But they're going to want to exploit their catalog, so that might be ongoing. So we'll see. I don't think there's enough value in Warner Brothers Games. I think they'd rather cherry pick very specific developers rather than a publisher and then strip it of some IP. I don't think that's a good value added to Stadia personally, in my view. That's my top 10 plus a little bit predictions. What do you think, people? What do you think? Should we go to chat? There we go, chat. What do we think about that? Remember, hit the likes. If you're new here, hit subscribe. It's really, really, really appreciated. Avail yourself to the super chats and all of that if you want to put your hand up and get some attention. And let's have a look at the chats. Yeah, top 10. Well, I realised I sort of, it was meant to be a top 10, Antonio. Top 10 plus, yeah. I like to give more. I always like to offer more. At this stage, I prefer, David Hanley says, bring back Duke Nukem. Is that who you mean, Zen Alpha? At this stage, I prefer cross-platform AAA games. I'm happy to wait a year or two for first-party games. Exactly. I think Google are very much we're still building out the library, but imagine, I'm going to check my notes here because I put something quite interesting here. In fact, you're missing out on my final thing. Here we are. There we are. Stay patient. Keep the faith. The future is red with a slight diffusion into a reddish pink. The future is Stadia. Bear in mind, these are just predictions. There could well be other surprises and none of us are aware of. Please read terms and conditions apply. Anyway. So the other thing is, imagine by the end of the year, with massive AAA titles, yeah, that we know are coming, yeah, we know we got We know, Jedi Fallen. We know FIFA's coming. We know Madden's coming. All of that. Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs Legions, all of this. Imagine with all the massive AAA titles launching this year, plus coming soon or coming to Stadia this year, what a symbol of credibility that would be in the gaming world. This is the vision that I bought into when I ordered the Founders Pack way back in June, July last year. This is the vision that I've seen Google slowly building to. And after tomorrow, I hope we'll be a little closer to that vision. So as I said, stay patient. Keep the faith. The future is red with a slight diffusion to reddish pink. The future is Stadia. Yeah? Classic meme. They will announce more territories, Dave. Good call, I think that. Which content creators are going to be in the video? Exactly, Antonio. I'm not the right demographic. I'm not sure I'm the right demographic. Yeah, who wants a grumpy old man with a beard? Blue Bobs says Cyberpunk coming to Stadia day and date confirmation. That's my hope. You know, it would be cool, and it would add to what I said about the credibility of the platform. Just in gamers' in publishers' eyes, in gamers' eyes, as I said, as we go towards the end of this year and into next year, this idea of day and date is redundant. Yeah, it will be redundant because it will be day and date, so you won't have to make reference to it. And when we get to that point, that's the key thing. That's the point of credibility. We're still we're less than a year into Stadia, and the games that are delivering or have delivered so far, some of which have been day and date, but we know why. So Doom Eternal is because they were developing it specifically for Stadia. But those games had been in development for 3 years prior to Stadia sort of being announced. So we know that the ones that came a bit later are ports. But as we've seen with Ubisoft, once a publisher gets into bed, as it were, with Stadia, the games come day and date. Valhalla, day and date. Watch Dogs Legions, day and date. Far Cry, next year in February, day and date. So stop saying it, Clive. No, day and date, exactly. We'll just start seeing these big titles, the people that, the ones you see not the game because it's closed, not GameStop, no, not in GameStop, that's closed. But anyway, the ones that you'd see in the shop and the front window remember shops? Do you remember those? Who remembers shops? I remember shops. Anyway, all those big AAA titles that the sort of the main gamer kind of recognizes will just be available for, as I said, PlayStation, Xbox, Stadia, PC, whatever, at the same time. So anyway, who's looking forward to, let's have a look, go back to chat here. I don't know how effective it would be to have a static overlay on screen when the enemies are guaranteed not to be in the same spot. Are you talking about hacking? On this screen I have here, there's a facility, Antonio, which you can put a crosshair on the center of the screen. I never do it because I think it's cheating. But yeah, so when the player, obviously because when the player is center screen, they're actually in your crosshairs effectively. When you're playing first-person shooters, never do it. It's cheating. I don't know why they do it. It's in a gamer mode on this 4K screen. Check out my 4K review of the video. My review of the 4K screen. Yeah, imagine, Dave Hanley, I'm desperate to play Cyberpunk. You've got, but as you say, with Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, all coming at the same time, I'm going to be skint, man. Cyberpunk, 1 minute, hour, or day delay. Yeah, I could be like a week. That'd be cool. That'd be fine. A yearly rate. Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good option again, and that would be the sort of thing you might want to communicate at a Stadia Connect, actually. But again, you've got to be careful, in my view, of not confusing the marketplace. How much is it? £8.99 or what? 50 quid a year. Well, which is it? 50 quid a year, £8.99. And, you know, people get confused. Or get confused. The numbers confuse me. But I think, it's a sort of thing, again, aimed at people they want to buy into the, platform. If they say, look, this is all the things the platform does. These are all the big AAA titles coming in the next few months. Plus family share, plus streaming to YouTube. And you can get all of this for X amount, 60 quid a year, whatever. When I compare Stadia to Steam, my outlook changes. Stadia is said to have tracked 120 this year. Steam took 3 years to get to 117. Yeah, I think because do we want loads and loads of back catalogue games? Because that's the only way you fill up the library. Or would you rather they concentrate on a nice mix of recent back catalogue games that have sort of delivered this year, and then continue focusing on games that are delivering at the same time in the future? I'll be patient when they will shadow drop the games and hope to as well. Yeah. Well, I hope well, we know Orcs is. I hope there's some other shadow drops, because it's a shame that Orcs 3's been leaked. I mean, who goes around telling people that? Spoiler. Oh, shit. Shit, it's me. Bollocks. Yeah, later, exactly. You better start buttering up your relations and your friends. Put it on your Christmas list. Your partners, your girlfriends, your boyfriends. Here's my Christmas list. One of these big games, please. One thing I must also, while I'm doing it, is I was going to do a bingo card, but Stadia Source, bless their cotton sore, they've gone overboard with it. It's brilliant. If you've not seen it, get yourself one of this. So this is over at Stadia Source. Bingo card. I was going to do one of these, but I was just going to write the words. They've gone to the effort of making a full-on game card here. Is it scratch and sniff? I don't know. But they've got YouTube stream share coming soon. So every time they say coming soon, that's hilarious. Cyberpunk, Avengers, new hardware made by Google. I don't think they're going to mention that. EA, other than Apex. Good call. That's what I said. Hyperscape, yeah. Uplay Plus, Fortnite. Splash Damage and Typhoon Studios. Didn't mention Splash Damage. I should have, along with Typhoon Studios. Activision. It's another one I had. Yeah, exactly. Chasing MM2K. Got to collect their husband tokens. Exactly. Taking an account. Totally brand new feature. So there are rumors that there might be something announced that we've no idea about. I know some people have said, yeah, Clive, what about next gen? So I was going to talk about that, the Gen 2 stuff. The Gen 2 stuff is very techie stuff, and I don't think it's for the mainstream gamer. In an announcement like this, it just confuses people. And one of the things that people accused Stadia of when they announced back in GDC March 2019 about the teraflops and all that kind of, 4K, 12.3 teraflops, better than the Xbox One X and all of that. And a lot of people criticised Stadia for making that announcement. But my view was it wasn't. It was specifically aimed at developers. That whole early conference, it was GDC, Games Developer Conference. And who did Eddie have on his show? What's his name? Caleb. Guy called Caleb. And he summarized it. I mean, I've said this before, but he summarized it much better than I did, saying that in a way, Stadia shouldn't have made that public. It was a Google Developers Conference. Back in the day, I used to go to it's a GDC, Game Developers Conference, originally in March 2019. I went to GDC. I used to go to GDC many years ago, before YouTube, believe it or not. And yeah, it was for industry, and it still is effectively for industry. And so that presentation, which is what confused the consumer, I think, and expectation, was really aimed at developers and publishers. But unfortunately, because it was sort of made public and it seemed like a public general announcement, people went, oh, well, it's gonna be Netflix of gaming, you're gonna be able to stream to YouTube. And then of course when it launched, it had all these features, and people got upset, and it sort of bit Google on the arse, basically. But as I think his name's Caleb, on Eddie's show earlier today, and as I say, very succinctly said, he thinks, that was a GDC. It was a game developers conference. So that's the target market. These Stadia Connects are more about the gamers. And so they're going to concentrate on those gaming aspects. When it comes to talking about Tech 2, Generation 2 and all that, what we find is that Phil Harrison will do an interview with a major magazine, and I had one earlier, or either a major tech like Engadget. He'll do an interview with Engadget, and in that he'll make reference to or talk about, we'll be looking to roll out next gen, and there'll be games already running at 120 frames per second and 4K, and we hope to be able to reveal that soon. He'll do that to the tech press, and then it will filter out from that, and then when they have something tangible to show, that's when it gets sort of announced more publicly. That's how you announce those sort of tech things. It will be either, with the Financial Times, even the Financial Times, or the BBC, an interview with the BBC, like Xbox recently did. Xbox did sort of 3 or 4 big interviews. So Phil Spencer did some interviews with the BBC, I think a big American outlet, media outlet, and some others, specifically talking about Xbox strategy. So it wasn't a big presentation to sort of the general public. It was a sort of an interview with the CEO of Xbox. And this is, I think, how you'll find out about at this stage, the next Gen 2 stuff. It will be an interview with the BBC technology correspondent, or the Financial Times correspondent, or Forbes correspondent, not that idiot that Paul, what's his name, that I've talked about before, or something like that, or Engadget. That's where we'll see that, an interview with either Phil or that other game, the other guy, the tech guy from Google Stadia, and they may talk about tech Gen 2 at those stages. That's my view anyway. Back to chat. I hope you enjoyed that bingo card. Make sure you go to Stadia Source, download it, and play along, as they say. Play along. Rock says, Google released new hardware today, a security device and Pixel Buds available in Europe. Yay! Chase did a review of Pixel Buds. Pixel Bug. Freudian slip there. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I hope you agreed with my predictions, or you had your own predictions, or any of those things. I think I've been rattling along for an hour and 20 minutes now. Thank you for all coming. I really, really appreciate it. If you are new here, whack the subscribe button, hit the notification button and all of that. Remember to hit the like button as well. Much appreciated. I'm going to be am I on Stadia Rock tomorrow, Rock? If you're still listening. Is it Stadia Rocks? I've forgotten which one I'm on. Do it live, or am I on with you, or is it on another podcast where we're going to watch it live? There'll be loads of podcasts where people are watching it live. Of course there will. So come along and watch it, and let me know. Thank you. Of course it is. Rock, put in there, Rock. If it, are we doing it on Rockstar's special? Just checking the chat. Anyway, I'll tweet it out anyway, which I think it is on Rockstar's channel. Yeah, Rockstars at Stadia Connect. Thank you, Rock. So I'm going to be on Rockstars at Stadia Connect, 5:30 p.m. If you've got a link, Rock, just whack it in the chat. That's cool. And we'll be streaming live Stadia Connect. So grab your Stadia Connect bingo card off Stadia Source and come along, join the fun, join the chat, and I'll see you tomorrow. Once again, massive thank you for being with me tonight. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me that we get lots of people in and we have a good chat and a good conversation. I hope you appreciated my predictions, and let's see whether I'm wrong or right. But let's not get overhyped. Just enjoy yourself. Know that Today, you didn't have anything. Tomorrow, you're going to have some more stuff. And be happy with that. And have a great, great day. Thank you and goodbye.
Rage on that.